Now, Chumley, we're going to have to play intense defense in this game. That means you're going to have to be up on your man the whole time.
Okay, Tennessee.
Now let's get out there and give them hell.
1 hour later.
Okay, Tennessee. Okay, Tennessee. Okay, Tennessee. Okay, Tennessee. Okay, Tennessee.
Watford 3 on the way.
Hello, and thank you once again for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I hope you enjoyed that little parody episode started, but what do we have to say about the Penn State game? I noticed there are two schools of thought on this that are really opening up. Like, many people are like, Indiana, they just got beat by a really hot shooting team, and this team shot the lights out, and that is partially true. And then there's another school of thought that's like, we haven't played good defense all year. Look at how bad we've done against even bad teams. There's that school of thought too. So we're going to talk about both of those ideas on this show today. Read a couple of comments. I won't disclose who it is, but I can see it from both sides. I can see a little bit. They were hot shooting, but also we kind of allowed them to get into a rhythm, and you can't let a team do that. We used to have players like that shot from the outside, Tom Coverdale. And if he got super hot from shooting threes, then he could practically make one from half court by the time the game was over with. You can't let him do that. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being part of this Indiana Hoosiers community. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. We'll get right into the episode. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We have a great discussion about the Hoosiers on here, and give the video a thumbs up if you like the video, and we'll get it out to more Hoosier fans, and we'll grow this Hoosier community. So let's get right into the episode. Mike Woodson, after the game, he said this.
Why do you feel you guys, with some regularity, struggle with defending the three? Other teams coming into this building, getting 8, 9, 10, today 12 made threes against you guys?
Well, in the Big Ten Conference, we have been guarding the three pretty well. I mean, it's an indication that we've defended the three pretty well. I just thought tonight, second half, we were so flat coming out. I mean, something I hadn't seen. I mean, I look at their first possession to start the second half, and they got I think 3-4 cracks at it, where we couldn't come up with loose balls, a rebound. I mean, it was like we were steps slow, and it's kind of disappointing because you play a good game against Iowa and then you come back and basically lay an egg.
I kind of felt bad for him a little bit until I thought in the back of my mind, he makes $4 million a year and I don't. So you know what? When he said, I thought that we did play good defense, it reminded me of something a boss told me one time. You thought you farted and you shit your pants. That's practically what you did out there. So don't think. Let's get it done. I think that is the main thing that people are so mad about. But I do want to read a little bit of a rebuttal that's going on here at times, because I've seen a lot of comments out there like this. Come on, people, stop the criticism. IU got beat by a hot shooting Penn State team, 54% on 3-point shots, 36 points. Most shots were highly contested. Some of the shots were highly contested, and they were tough shots. Game over. They were the best offense. We were just the victim. If we play them tomorrow, we probably win. That is all true. But you know what? The game is not being played tomorrow. The game was being played right then, and we just didn't show up in the second half of that game. And then I had somebody else say, every game I hear the same opponent, they hit tough shots, and this is the other school of thought. They hit tough shots. We have to do something about it. Guard someone. Tenacious D. Yes. One of my favorite bands also. Scrap for balls. Get dirty. Become familiar with the floor like the New York Knicks do night in and night out. Or Butler or Rutgers. Play basketball like it's meant to be played. At some point, a light bulb should go off in Woodson's head. Oh, I guess it's not us. It's that the opponent's so good. We suck. We need to play harder. Sorry, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated too, because that's how I think. I don't understand why nothing changed in the second half of that game. Bring a double team. Baldwin, Dunn. I would say we're just going to double team everybody on the perimeter, and we're going to double team and trap guys coming up the court so that they can't get into a comfortable offense around that 3-point line, because that's all they were doing. They didn't care if they were a step or 2 steps behind that 3-point line coming into the last 10 minutes of that game, because at that point they had such supreme confidence that they were going to beat us off of that 3-point line. It didn't matter at that point. They had the confidence, and we couldn't reel it in. That's something this team just can't do. The last 5 minutes, I went back and watched the last 5 minutes of the first half. Penn State started knocking down some shots in that last 5 minutes. And really in the last 2 to 3 minutes, we let them cut into that lead and really gain confidence in the last of the first half. And then they come out in the second half and outscored us 27-10 in the first 11 minutes of the second half. Now that is unbelievably bad. You can let a run like that go for 5 minutes, maybe 6, 7, but you can't play 11 minutes of that bad of basketball. Our defense is awful. I mean, a few of these where Renew is just out of position, and he cannot guard guys on the perimeter. Last year we had Jackson Davis could legitimately guard a guard out on the perimeter, and we had that on the team. We don't have that with some of these guys. They get beat off the drive. They get beat where their guards, I mean, there was a play that was IU hit a critical shot in this game, and their guard took the ball and drove the length of the court right down to the basket and made a pass to Wahab, and he just puts it in. That is a spot where we were just not ready on defense, and we let that guard gouge all the way down to the lane. That was very frustrating to watch. On plays where you got to get back and you got to stop the ball, we just weren't doing it. So yes, I see both schools of thought. I see everything, it is a little bit to chance. But one thing's not to chance is losing, like having Army have such a great shooting night against you. You know where Army is in the Ken Pom rankings? Well, let's just look it up. Let's just look up, where is Army in the Ken Pom rankings? Oh, right. They're like 350th. They tore us up from the outside, a team that really can't even recruit players. So that's where the frustration comes from. Was Army just on that night, or is everybody just on when they play Indiana? The other thing in the game, we did not fight through screens. We did not fight through screens at all. Lazy basketball is always switching every time. Oh, I'll switch you because I'd much rather guard this guy. That's lazy thinking. Fight through the screens. Don't switch as much. Or Mike Woodson, you know what I thought in that game when they're hitting those shots? And I know we don't practice this in practice, because if we did, we might do it. Go to start hedging out. I mean, if you're going underneath the screens, hedge on it 3 or 4 times. But we can't call that out. Our guys don't understand defense in a way. Listen to Todd Leary talk about playing for Indiana when he played for Bob Knight. They practice every type of defense. They practice zone in practice. They practice a 1-3-1. They practice different types of defenses just so they knew how to play those types of defenses. Does this team do that? I don't think so. We can barely even play the defense that we're supposed to be playing. This nail slot rim is not working. My dad, I was like trying to show him like video on like what nail slot rim is and everything. And he said, to me, it just looks like a defense where they don't guard anybody. It's like everybody's in weak side help defense, and this in between. And that's where they're supposed to be. It does look like a defense where nobody guards anybody. That's problematic. That means maybe you should go to something else. Just go to straight man-to-man, go to a straight zone, go to something else. If you can't teach the defense to the players and they don't understand where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to do, then you can't play that defense. That's all there is to it. I mean, it seems very simple, but if they don't understand it, they can't play it. Just a lot of bad in this game that we really unpacked. And I think we're just kind of learning that this team just can't really play consistent. They look like a dump truck driving through a nitroglycerin plant right now. They really just look like they're just going downhill as the season goes on. I mean, it's pretty bad when you have to have 8 days of practice to really focus in and play good defense at Illinois. And we lost that game because we have no good offense. That's something else I want to point out in the Ken Pom rankings. We're 100th in defense and we're like 100th in offense for adjusted efficiency and we're 11th in luck. You know why that is? We're 11th in luck because we have so much talent on this team. And when they do actually pull their heads out of their asses and start playing like they really know how to play basketball, they are a good team. That's the most frustrating thing about it. We're 11th in luck. That's only because we have the potential to beat anybody. We just don't do it because we're not a well-coached team. And one other thing I want to point out that somebody said in the comments, Thad Matta is getting it done at Butler. He's only been there 2 years. He is a good college basketball coach. He was the person that I guess Woody, or I don't know whose decision it was to let him leave, but he's doing a better job at Butler with lesser players in a lesser league, and he's able to get it done there because he's a good college basketball coach. And the good college basketball coaches have their teams playing at a more efficient level. There's a reason why Purdue and Houston are 1 and 2 in KenPom. They're the most efficient teams out there, offensively and defensively. And that's where the Hoosiers want to be. I don't believe 100% in all analytics and that stuff, but you got to look at those things and you got to take something from it. And we're a bad coach basketball team when you have this high of a level of talent and you're 11th in luck. Just what I said. If anybody else has a different way to interpret that, I would love to see it. We are what we are right now. We have more games. I don't even want to think about the next game at Ohio State. We're going to have to show up. We're going to have to watch this team and see what happens the rest of the year. I'm not giving up on them, and the fans won't give up on them. And the reason for that is we all love Indiana basketball. We love the Hoosiers, and we're going to keep rooting for them. And the fans are always going to be there. It just is what it is right now. It is what it is right now. And I hate to say that because it's February 4th. And we should not be saying that on February 4th. But I'm going to relax the rest of the day. There's no football on, and watch some college basketball teams that are actually enjoyable to watch, like Indiana State or Butler or any teams. Kansas, I watched them last night. Really great game they played against Houston. I love to watch them rub it in the face of Kelvin Sampson and his players. And they have one of the best defenses out there. And Kansas just really found a way at home to pick them apart. That was unbelievable. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.